Yep, good morning, everyone. And first of all, please accept my apologize for the weather. But in light of UK standards, so it's still nice. It's okay. So anyway, let's start to talk about kicking. So anyway, I first talk something about the side foot kicking. A long time ago, someone put threw a doubt on the matter of life, to be or not to be. But maybe a similar question would arise in our mind when we met novice kids player like him. The question is to teach or not to teach. It's obviously he's a beginner for side foot kicking, also needs some technical training to improve it. Clearly, his kicking is less powerful and less accurate. Of course, there are many textbooks to explain the way of kicking. We can see many unique tips for side foot kicking because this technique is a relatively complicated and a little bit difficult to achieve for beginners. So there are some unique tips. One tip is, as you can see, the placement of the pivot leg. As you can see, this textbook says, place the pivot leg slightly behind the ball. Also, another tip is, up the hill to form the L shape, like a putt in golf. That might increase the accuracy of the kicking. Of these, the most effective one for beginners is illustrated by this picture. It simply said, push to the heel toward kicking direction. Because for beginners, it's quite difficult to swing the medial side of the foot forward. So that kind of interaction sometimes works very nicely. So I become to have a research question. What is the kinetic factors to distinguish in-step kicking? As you can see, it's a very simple series of rotation joints. And side foot kicking. Side foot kicking requires a relatively complicated series of joint rotation. So we simply compare two kicking dynamics. Oh, don't work. It's work. We get the highly trained youth players. And they are in very much high level. Two players get a professional contract after the end of the season. And I try to, come in. Please look at the picture. Step in and push the heel. It seems his kicking style is precisely copy the text of precisely loyal to the textbook, how to kick the ball. So this is the data for kinetics about hip joint. As you know, the hip joint has 3 degrees of freedoms. And the line in red shows the joint moment. The line in black shows the angular velocity for each degrees of freedom. On the left side shows the in-step kick. On the right side shows that of the side foot kicking. For the above 2 degrees of freedom, so I couldn't find any clear differences. But we defined clear differences for this motion. Hip external rotation. Here we look at more carefully. As you can see, toward more impact, large hip external rotation torque was exhibited with the higher angular velocity. Sorry. This result seems very much consistent with the teaching tips. To push the heel to the kicking direction. Because to swing forward the medial side, but we don't, our knee doesn't bend to this direction. So players somehow to achieved twisting hip externally to push the medial side foot to the kicking direction. So what you got so far, this is an overhead view and showing the mechanisms to how the players swing the medial side of foot forward. So they are using a hip twisting. So twisting the hip joint externally is a key to conduct a style of kicking. That was in well explained in the textbook. And the efficacy of this motion may distinguish the players between highly trained and kids novice players. But we go to the next steps. After the negotiation over the years, we get high performance players in the middle. Maybe some guys may know. This is he's Dragan Stojkovic now. He's a manager for Nunome Grand Passage, and been played for the World Cup and Euro a couple times, and also been well known as a legend of Yugoslavia. So a picture was 1,000 words. So please try to look at the pictures. Oh, it's gone, sorry. Yeah. So coming. This is the Japanese highly trained youth players, side foot kicking. And this is a high performance players. So there are clear differences for example, the placement of foot. Many things seems different. So we made the same analysis and compare the hip external rotation moment and angular velocity. The slide on the left, it's youth players I shown before. And this is a high performance players changes. It can be seen clear differences for the change of moment and angular velocity just before ball impact. Youth player try to exhibit a large moment and large angular velocity toward ball impact, but these changes are suddenly decreased for high performance players. This nature is rather similar to that of the in-step kicking. That means the high performance players is doing side foot kicking with similar kinetic background with that of the in-step kicking. So for more detailed comparison, we computed the joint power due to joint moment. For easy understanding, there is pictures for arm wrestling. When you're winning, you are exhibiting positive power but you're losing. The power will be negative. Yeah, let's go. Use players. As you can see, large power just before ball impact, positive powers. In contrast, high-performance players show less power, less than 1/3 for the magnitude and for the area. The area means work, positive work. So we found a very unique consistency between high-performance players and novice kids players. Let's try to check. Please look at the placement of the foot and kicking leg shape and finish. Let's look at kids. Yeah, sorry for the, some numbers are disturbing, but the position is rather similar to the high-performance players. Also, you can see the shape of the foot. It's free, almost. Then kicking and having a similar finish. So this is a series of sequential photographs for 3 levels players. It is quite interesting results, I think, because there is a huge gap for the kicking style between youth players and novice kids players. But there are a lot of similarities between high-performance players and kids novice players. For example, the place of the foot, and the shape of the kicking foot, and follow through. So we got the new findings through a new experiment. A high-performance player showed a small hip twisting power while side foot kicking. His kicking style still remains a kinetic similarity, that of the instep kicks. Also, these features to those of these features resemble to those of novice players rather than highly trained youth players. That's the interesting question we have. What's things going on? So anyway, I had a chance to interview to the player. So we discussed about the data. Yeah, he's very positive to explain his techniques, as you can see. Oh, sorry for the sound. Yeah, that is B. Yeah, a little bit younger than now.